messing about here, Wembley Arena. We'll get this to the first one, Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing, Sky Box Office. Quite an interesting undercard. We mentioned Amy Timlin earlier, 4-0 going in against Carly Skelly. Another female fight as well been added to the show. Hannah Rankin against Savannah Marshall. A couple of fights for you, Ozzy. First of all, Lee Selby against George Kambosos Jr. Kambosos, interested to see how he fares. He's been knocking on the door world title level for quite a while now. Selby's obviously been there and done it. Didn't look great on the promo video I saw. Could barely recognise Selby, to be honest. Always notoriously struggled down at featherweight. He's up at lightweight now. So you would imagine he would be healthy, although he didn't look too healthy from what I saw of him on Twitter. Anyway, Kambosos struggled against Mickey Bay, which is maybe a little bit of a warning sign for him. Also, the more I'm hearing, Ozzy, about this Christopher Lovejoy, not to be confused with a popular former antiques dealer, going in against Dave Allen. He's supposed to be knocking in around the £347 mark, according to Boxing's First here in the chat. Let me see. Dave Allen's next opponent once fought a former super featherweight called Daniel Yocopiccio. Crazy stuff. So Selby Kambosos, Dave Allen against Lovejoy.
Pay-per-view, baby. Ozzy, take it away. Fucking £70.
Well, the thing is, though, right, fellas, so they say he's he's going to be coming in at around 345. He boxed at the start of the year, so 25th of January, and he weighed 236 pounds. He's put on, apparently, 110 pounds in 9 months. So fuck me, he's
punching some hard cougs.
fucking Lovejoy as well. He loves the joy of eating.
He must just be hooked up to a drip of being pumped with fat or cream or whatever or something like that.
Lockdown's been poor to him, I think. I think he's been sitting eating all that time during lockdown.
Oh, it's a fucking disgrace, that. Absolute disgrace. He makes Butterbean look slim. Fucking £345. Well, it says it all, doesn't it? Look. This Christopher Lovejoy, we can see it now. He's took the opportunity, 19-0, 19 KOs. Look at that record. He's fought in pretty much. He fights in fucking bars. He fought at Revolution Bar Officiani. He fights. I bet Saul Farrow beat this guy. So I bet you Saul Farrow beat Christopher Lovejoy, which says it all. It's unbelievable.
You know, according to Tim Hawk, who does all the kind of like journeyman shows and stuff like that on Twitter, he just says that he spoke to him, right? He's now in the UK and he said there's no training this week, he's just chilling.
I give him a big shot in the fight.
It'd be funny if he won, wouldn't it? A shot of diabetes, I think.
The one thing that is a travesty is that Christopher Lovejoy is ranked number 15 by the WBA. How has he got this way? I have no idea, but it is a travesty what he's doing.
Where am I ranked as? Number 14.
Mate, you're below Fraser Quendo.
I'm going to check the rankings now,
yeah, and do you know what? This fight sums up this pay-per-view. I mean, the fact that we're paying money, well, I will not be paying money for this, but people are going to be paying money to watch Dave fucking Allen, who's an area level fighter, fight some fat cunt hails from Mexico, who's put on 110 pounds in 10 months. I mean, how is that even possible? That is a third amount of weight. How is that even possible? So, yeah, so you've got him doing that there. You've then got Amy Timlin against Carly Skelly. Couldn't care. Just a waste of my time, that. You've got Savannah Marshall against Hannah Rankin, which was, to be fair, was moved over from that Ritson card and fell through because Peter Fury failed the coronavirus test. Again, though, it's of no interest to me, this fight. Hannah Rankin gets beat off every time she steps up. Savannah Marshall will stop her probably. But again, I've no interest. Selby Kambosos Jr. I think the big telling factor is if Kambosos is struggling with Mickey Bay, Selby should have enough. But one thing Selby's never going to do, I don't think he's going to knock you out. I just don't think he's got that power, and I don't think him going up to lightweight he'll gain any more sort of. I don't think the power will be there as well. Mickey Burns gave him a very close fight. I think there's arguments Burns beat Selby from memory. But I think Selby will be too slick for Kambosos Jr. And he'll probably win a 117, 111 type of card. And again, probably won't be a great fight, to be honest. I assume what will be chief support should be Tommy McCarthy against Bilal Lagoon. It's weird. I've backed McCarthy a couple of times, and he can get into a rhythm, of a bit of a sparring partner mentality. But he's certainly got skills and has got ability, and this is a more than winnable fight against Lagoon. I don't look too much into McCarthy's last performance where he beat Turchi on a split decision, because it was wider than that. The split decision was one of the dodgy Italian cards. And I remember looking at Lagoon's record and saw who he'd been in with, and that was it. He boxed Simon Barkley, who turned over with Frank Warren. Decent amateur, actually, Simon Barkley, but never really got that push. And a couple of people who saw the fight, and I managed to watch it at a later date, had Barkley winning that. And it was a horrible, it stunk, basically. And Barkley was well in it, and Barkley's okay. So this is certainly a winnable fight for McCarthy. They've known it's coming for a while. And you think if he can, hit the ground running type of thing, he's got every chance of winning this fight as well. But, like I say about Tommy McCarthy, he's shown in the past, like when he fought Riakpo, it was just, like a sparring partner's mentality, just kind of happy to be there and nothing else. But I think he'll probably realise that this is this huge opportunity, and a win here will give him 4 world rankings. You're winning that European title, and quite possibly, like not talking out of turn, but you're the European title holder. It's not without reason that you could get a world title shot in your next fight.
Especially with the WBC, because they look fondly upon it, and I think Tommy won one of their baubles as well.
Yeah, definitely. So it's not, it's not unrealistic to think that could happen. So this is a massive fight for Tommy McCarthy, huge. I know Rob. I think Rob's close with him as a good friend of his, so he might be able to, if he's spoken to him, I'm not sure, but it's certainly one I'm rooting.
He's been getting his sponsors together, so I think he got his last sponsor together today. But we'll get him on after the pod. We'll get him on after the fight. Back on the pod. He's out with me, the Taylor, so I'd be quietly confident that he get the job done.
Yeah,
I think it's Tommy's fight to lose. I think it's Tommy's fight to lose. He has to get ahead of steam, get into a good rhythm, and don't get complacent. Because I hadn't heard about that Barkley fight that you said, but looking at Lagoon's record, and I haven't seen anything of him, but he did draw with Kucha. He lost to Ngumbu, who fought. I think Ngumbu fought. Was it Gvozdik, and he went down on his knee or something? Anyway, Lagoon's decent. So if Tommy's not on point, I think Lagoon can win the fight. But I think this is all down to Tommy, how he performs, really.
So is that to me, mate?
Sorry, who's that aimed at? Is that aimed at Rob, me, or?
I know I was having a conversation with you, was he? Sorry.
Oh, my apologies. Sorry. Yeah, I agree. It's certainly McCarthy's to lose. But like I said, we've been in this situation before with him, haven't we? From where, like we said, I genuinely thought he beat Riakpo, but again, he didn't show it. But it's the first time he's probably got a bit of activity behind him. He fought, 5 times last year? That's huge for him. Yeah, not all the opponents were great, but we got 5 fights under his belt there. So look, he's technically had 12 months out of the ring, but again, a lot of fighters did because of the lockdown. So he's coming in off the back of that decent win in Italy. This is a massive fight for him, and as you say, if he's on point, I think he'll beat Lagoon. But as you say, if he underperforms, it's not a fight from where you can underperform and win. He'll probably fall short if that is the case.
Lovely jubbly, Andy. Undercard for you. Anything of interest? I think Selby Kambosos is actually pretty decent. I think McCarthy Lagoon is pretty decent as well. Anything apart from that is pretty shite.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's seen the picture I posted about Kambosos Jr. Was it yesterday? I think it was. He looks fucking dreadful. I actually asked if he was actually ill. So I don't know how he's going to look on the scales. Has he got problems making weight in the past or anything like that? Because I know he's been fighting at lightweight now for a few years, but
he's absolutely shredded, isn't he? And he has a tattooed neck as well, which is never a good look.
He just looked like his eyes were kind of like sunken in and stuff like that. So I'll be interested to see what he looks like on the scales. Not seen Selby fight since since the Burns win actually. So I mean, that's what, over a year now, So yeah, we'll wait and see how he performs up at the new weight. But I agree with the comments about McCarthy and that Belgian guy he is okay, he's pretty decent. He's pushing Ngumbu all the way. But even Usyk, Chisora's again, it's a bit like that Murray fight against Saunders, isn't it? It's just they went back and recycled it because that was the fight that Usyk was meant to have before he got a world title fight. Obviously, I mean, there was a big high power meeting with Eddie and Usyk's people. Just literally like within 3 to 4 weeks just before the lockdown happened and stuff. Now, obviously, at that meeting they were discussed because obviously Usyk was next in line to fight Joshua. Obviously, Eddie's then made a deal to try and smooth it over, maybe give Usyk another couple of paydays, same with Chisora and stuff like that as well. But it's just not worked out, obviously, with the situation and that. But they go back to it. The whole situation, Usyk's going to be waiting for a title fight, and I could possibly see, as I say, know that the belts matter at this point, but Fury and Josh would need to get it on, dump the belts. Everybody knows who the champion is, and let the rest of them, create their own legacies, their own histories, and pick up the belts and stuff. Because at some point, the politics is going to come into this. Mandatories are going to get called. People are going to, start calling for fights and stuff, and Eddie's going to have to start smoothing people over. We don't know what's happening with the Wilder situation yet either, actually. So we just need to kind of wait and see how it plays out. But Usyk, I'll be disappointed if Usyk doesn't stop Chisora at this point. This Chisora should be getting stopped, in my opinion. If he doesn't do it, I will be more than severely disappointed, actually, because Chisora, to me, is washed. He'll always be decent form at maybe... Well, definitely at British level, maybe European level when he can be asked for it, but he might give Usyk a wee bit of problem in that. He might come in winging shots and stuff, might get Usyk backing off a wee bit in that. But I suspect, and I do expect Usyk to win well. So wait and see how it goes. But again, just poor all round. And they have Eddie shit on likes of Showtime. As I say, I go back to a few weeks ago now when Eddie was shitting on Showtime when they released their schedule of fights and stuff like the Charlos and Lipinets here last night and stuff like that. Compared to what he put on, right? Tommy mentioned a tweet the other day there that we pay over 100 quid a month for Sky subscriptions, and you're asked to be paying 19, 20 quid for this pay-per-view, whereas Showtime is like, what is it, $8 a month, $8 a month subscription, and $50 for a pay-per-view and stuff. So even then, it's still cheaper than what Sky are charging for our content and stuff like that. And the content we're getting is fucking horrific. And okay, we can mention BT as well. Their content's been pretty poor and stuff, but when you're putting this shit on pay-per-view, 3 cars on pay-per-view, it's absolutely horrendous.
Freaking football's on pay-per-view as well now, Andy. You got to play for Burnley against West Brom on pay-per-view.
Fucking hell, that's what I says. Look, I see the other day, it says Sky Sports, they've got no Serie A, they've got no Eredivisie, they've got no Bundesliga, they've got no French football, no Champions League, no Europa League. The boxing content shite or of accidental value, as I mentioned and stuff like that. Fulham Palace was 15 quid to buy there yesterday. Apparently there's an uproar, I read the day in the press and stuff like that about the pay-per-views and stuff like that. Apparently Sky and BT didn't want to do it. Well, why fucking do it then? Why charge it if you didn't want to do it? Because you're fucking snakes. You kind of fans kind of getting to go and see their team and stuff like that. So what do? You come to cunt and start putting their games behind paywalls and stuff like that. And you wonder why we do it illegally. Because you're a shower of robbing bastards. Who wants to fucking pay £15 to watch Fulham against Palace? Fuck off. I mean, I said to Dave Lee the other day, I said, I was happy to pay 10 quid to watch Lopez Lomachenko. Why? Because it was a fight that everybody was wanting to see. Everybody was talking about it. And Lopez carried the promotion and he got us all hyped for it. And that's what it's all about. It was a fucking really good fight that we all wanted to see. Right? Didn't they kind of break up as a really good fight, in the day? But it was, we got what we wanted. We got to see the two guys in the ring fighting. This is shit. 20 quid to watch Usyk fucking smash up Chisora. Tommy McCarthy probably falls short against a Belgian. And Lee Selby bore the shit off us over 12 rounds against a guy who's probably going to fail to make weight. And, the women's fight, I'm not interested. In fact, you got 2 women's fight on that card. And Dave fucking Allen fighting fucking Mr. fucking Blobby. What the fuck? 20 quid?
But Aaron gave some good insights in one of his interviews this week into why they charge so much pay-per-view in the States, and it's because the network takes 50%, and Sky and BT only take 15%. So you could bet if BT and Sky were getting a higher percentage, the fucking pay-per-view, they'd be charging £100 to watch Anthony Joshua. Of course the fucking would. So there's this kind of moral stance that our pay-per-views less expensive. That doesn't mean jack shit, even Ed.
The good thing is, Rob, Don King used to get shit for the cards that he put on. Eddie's making Don King look like the good guy here.
But look at the fights that King used to put on, man.
Exactly.
Look at how competitive they were. Like, they were
stacked cards. Those were stacked cards. World title
Unbelievable.
fights, 4 or 5 world title fights in a card. Julio Cesar Chavez, McClellan, heavyweights. It was fucking
Hopkins, Judah,
Hopkins,
Rackman, yeah.
Terry Norris, Julian Jackson. Fucking, you name the heavyweights.
Nobody getting paid apart from Don.
and his son Carol.
Here, Andy, just rounding off the undercard before we go into the Chisora fight. I've seen a picture of Kambosos. When he said he was going to beat Lee Selby at his own game, I didn't think becoming a weight drain skeleton was going to be part of his strategy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, mate. He looks horrific. He's got really, I don't know if it's just his naturally his skin complexion, but his eyes were black. He looked like he was really. Seriously, man, if you looked up if you were not involved in boxing, you had not a clue who that guy was, you would think he was a drug addict or something like that, or he was
he wandered out of Auschwitz or something,
or he's like hooked to like Oxycontin or something like that. He looks awful. I remember when Lee Selby was trying to make 126, the state he was in trying to make it, and then he'd go to the ring and bore his shit off us for 12 rounds and that as well as an equal measure. You're like, fucking hell, you just don't want to watch that shit anymore. And I could see it in this fight as well happening. This will be a stink fest.
Looking forward to it, as Andy is. Rob, let's move on to the main event then, shall we? Big Dereck, Del Boy, Chisora going in against Oleksandr Usyk. A few talking points got written down here. First of all, the training situation. No Caldwell in the corner. Chisora being trained by your man Steve Broughton, whoever you pronounce it, Rob, who was, I think he was Shane McGuigan's understudy for a while. Anyway, the point is, inexperienced trainer, possibly being in the corner, unless I'm getting this wrong, reeks a little bit of Dillian White getting that fella in before the Povetkin fight.
Well, I don't think Chisora gives a shit, man, does he? Like, he's well past his sell-by date, and for him to still be on pay-per-views, he's a very shrewd businessman. He's kept himself around and kept himself relevant, thrown over a few tables, put in a good performance against Klitschko, got absolutely beat to death by Tyson Fury, and sparked by David Haye, gave Dillian White life and death, but what does that say, really? Knocked out by, I don't know, like, you could not see Dereck Chisora being competitive even in this Usyk fight, unless Usyk is a slow starter and Del Boy gets some rounds at the start just from pressure. But you got to think Usyk's feet and everything are going to be just way too sharp. Combination punching is going to be way too sharp, and he's going to break Chisora down and do what he wants with him. But the charge for this, man, like who the fuck is Usyk really in the UK to be headlining the pay-per-view just because he fucking sparked Tony Bellew? I know we know, like, the boxing public know, but even we don't think he's a fucking pay-per-view star yet. Like, holy shit, man. Against Dereck Chisora, like, it's different if he's fighting Joshua or he's fighting Fury. Like, he's gone up for the big one, but he's fighting a fucking fella who's shot to bits. Like, well, he's not, I don't know if he's shot to bits, but he's certainly washed, like, compared to what he was in his heyday. Maybe he makes this a competitive fight. Right now, I don't give a shit how many videos he's hanging out like a bat with David Haye hitting him in the fucking stomach. He's not ready for Usyk, like. And, if I'm wrong, I'll eat my words, and I will give him all credit because I think he's been an entertaining guy over the years. He comes to fight. There's something about him. He's an interesting character, and he's made a brilliant career for himself getting paid to be the B-side and lose in big fights, but he doesn't care because he's back there all the time. So I will eat my words if he does anything in this fight, but I just cannot see it. Can't see it.
Ozzy, I'm definitely, desperately rather, trying to find some elements of intrigue here to justify the £20 pay-per-view purchase. I'm trying to think from a Usyk point of view, can he take a shot from a proper heavyweight? Is he able to rumble with the strength of a proper heavyweight? Will Chisora even land 1, 2 or 3 heavy shots to test his chin? Will Dereck remain competitive if it goes late? I think, personally speaking, to answer any of those questions for myself, Chisora is going to come out swinging first 3 or 4 rounds, put it on him. I'm going to show you what a big heavyweight's like. And as the fight goes on, he's going to be getting peppered. He's going to be slow-footed. He's going to be getting a lot slower as Usyk just boxes around him. I'm looking at 10th round stoppage, maybe even a cornerment retirement. So, I mean, what can we take out of this fight? What will we actually learn that will be of benefit to us?
Not a right lot, to be honest, because we saw, I think Gashi made it quite awkward for Chisora, and he stunk the place out, Chisora, because he didn't have somebody, who basically stand and trade with him, which is what he kind of needs now. Takam did that, he knocked him out. Spilker did that, he knocked him out. David Price, that's all he knows. not stood there and trade, but was a big lump there to hit. He knocked him out. Usyk's going to box, move. I don't think he'll knock him out as in out cold. I think if he's gonna stop him, I think it'll be a corner retirement.
Yeah.
Similar to what Fury did. Do you remember when he came out and boxed southpaw against him and just peppered him, and Chisora looked like he'd had an allergic reaction. All his eyes were blown up and his face was a complete mess type of thing. So I think that's what it's going to be like. I just don't think Chisora's got, any... I just don't see how he might try and make it, like rough Usyk up type of thing as well. But let's have it right. Usyk's been in, with fucking... You can argue Gassiev, hits like a fucking heavyweight. And Usyk wasn't phased about that type of thing. They all bang on about fucking what's-his-face, Tony Bellew's power. They all had you talking about that. Oh, he hits like a heavyweight, now he's at cruiserweight. Well, Bellew didn't budge Usyk either. I think from memory, Bradis landed some big shots on Usyk as well, and he took them. So I don't think there's any qualms about his chin. And yes, I'm sure he'll always definitely be able to take a shot off a heavyweight. I just don't see how Chisora, wins. I really don't. Chisora's been washed for a while. He's just been marketed well. And he's had a couple of good, like I say, good wins. But, he's been able to come back. But then just rewind to the Caballel fight. He was shite in that and got completely outboxed. So, I don't think it'll be a great fight. I don't think it'll be tremendous. But it might be interesting early on, if Chisora does try and get on his chest, rough him up type of thing, try and make it a bit of a fight. But if Usyk gets into a groove pretty quickly, I think it could be a bit of a drab night, to be honest. And it'll either, like I said, be a late stoppage in terms of like a retirement, or it'll be a very wide points win for Usyk. But I don't give Chisora any chance whatsoever in this.
Dominic's on the call with us. Welcome to you, Dominic. You join us during the Oleksandr Usyk, Dereck Chisora preview. Interested to hear what you say. This is Chisora's big cash-out fight. Well, since the last big cash-out fight, he seems to be having quite a few before we eventually see the back of him. It's a bit of a Danny Williams-esque career, which he's heading into at the moment. Guys on Twitter, which is obviously the lot of truth floating about there, saying Chisora, Dominic, is getting absolutely millions of pounds to take this fight. No wonder Bean can't afford to buy anything for Sky. Hit us, Dominic. Hit us hard.
Can you hear me? My eardrums hard there, aye. Fuck me.
Come on, we can hear you. Go on.
Well, you were saying how much money Chisora is getting for this fight. Well, I was just thinking there, when you were discussing it, Hayes been working with him now for a while, but that's Hayes' fingerprints all over it. Hayes, he's not that you can see he's not to learn. He's probably, I'd love to know how much he's getting off Chisora, but it's difficult with Chisora. What the guys were saying there, you really don't know what he is. Very unpredictable. Like there's been many times in the past where people have been thinking, oh, he's going to turn in a big effort, and then it just falls completely flat. Like I'm thinking of the Fury rematch. Everyone was thinking Frank Warren had it all hyped up. Frank thought Chisora was gonna do something, but it's hard to know. I mean, I was just thinking before Ozzy said it, I was thinking the same about people are saying can he take a punch, but I wouldn't imagine there's that big of a difference between Gassiev's punching power and someone like Chisora. There's Chisora's never at heavyweight been a one punch, never really been a one punch knockout artist or someone who stops people. Well, he's more wear people down, but there's no way I'm paying to watch this here. It's an absolute. I mean, I saw someone put a link up to the undercard as well. It's an absolute shower.
Eddie's doing his best here, putting this together. If you're not going to watch it, then you're going to listen to it on 5 Live. Dominic, how are you going to consume this excellent content?
I've just become so ungrateful, Steve. You know, I've just no. I paid tenner to watch the. I got to watch the fight last week, the Lopez fight. But no, it's on the undercard. Has Dave Allen, has he got an opponent yet?
Has he got an opponent? Come on now. He's got Christopher Lovejoy, 347 pounds, 19 KOs, 19 wins.
He's only just arrived in the UK and he's just chilling for the rest of the week. He's not training, just chilling. Earning that paper, baby.
I'm just so disappointed in it.
Oh, Kell Brook was giving it tight, wasn't he?
I've been out here flogging the gut stuff with Usyk and Chisora. I haven't been interfering with any of the Ganymede.
I'm coming hard.
I've been flogging the gut stuff with Usyk.
Look, leave Kell alone. He's going for a holiday. He's got the Crawford fight. Give us a prediction for Usyk Chisora before we get stuck into Kell, metaphorically speaking, Dominic.
I'm going to go Usyk.
When he's listening to that, Steve, after you've just said that.
Usyk on points.
Usyk on points for Dominic. I think we're all going for Usyk, aren't we, pretty much? Andy, you went for Usyk point stoppage. What are you going for?
I'll go Usyk stoppage. As I says, I'll be disappointed if he doesn't win by stoppage.